So Greg's like, hey, what time do you think you're gonna get here? And it's like a 10-hour drive for me. And I had an 8-year-old little girl in the car. And I said, I think I'll be there like around 3:30, 4 o'clock. He goes, well, hit me up. He goes, hit me up when you get in town. I said, okay. So got to the hotel, checked in, unpacked, kind of cooled our heels. And I let Greg know. I'm like, hey, do you want to do something for dinner? And he goes, yeah, he goes, yeah, let's go get dinner. He says, but I want you to try something out. And I said, okay, what do you got? And he goes, I got my RXP-X running pretty hot. He goes, I want you to try it. I said, okay. So we go over to Greg's house and we hang out. And then he's like, let's go to the water. I said, okay. So we go to the water. And the lake is glass. I mean, it's really, really smooth. I was really surprised because that lake has been brutal before. And he says, listen, he goes, you're a lot bigger than I am. Well, I'm about 4 inches taller and about 90 pounds heavier than him. So there's a big difference between he and I. And he says, I'm going to go out on this thing with the sponsons down like they are. Because he had him set at like 4 or 5, and I had the sponsons on. I had the Pro Series sponsons on my RXPX set at 3, and he's got him set at 4. 5 was too aggressive in his opinion. I felt 4 was too aggressive for the kind of riding that I was doing. I wasn't hitting buoys. I was cruising. So he had him set at 4, and he goes out and he rides, and he goes, yeah, I'm doing like 84, 85. I said, okay. So I get on it, full tank of gas. I do 82. And I am sitting in the saddle. I am not, the seat's on, and I am not hanging over the back like I should be and getting all the weight over the pump. Because if you want to go fast, you got to trim that thing all the way to the moon and get your butt hanging off the back of the ski and just try to get that thing doing wheelies. And that's how you get an RXPX to go its top speed. I am not. I am in the saddle. I'm hunkered down, but I can only hunker down so far. I go 82. And he's like, oh, wow, I'm really surprised. And I told him why. And he goes, okay, well, that makes sense. He goes, bring it up on the trailer. So we pull up on the trailer, bring the sponsons. He sets them all the way to 1. He just goes all the way up. He goes, all right, now go out. And I said, okay. So I go out and I do 86. And no, I do 84. And he does 89. Okay. Full tank of gas on this, and we're using the speedometer. We're not using GPS. We're not doing anything like that. So there's like a 5-mile-an-hour difference between he and I. Big difference, right? So, and he's laughing because he's like, hey man, full tank of gas, 150-pound rider, seats on it. Seats are completely on. And we're using the speedometer. And he's like, all right, well, got an 89-mile-an-hour RXPX. I said, hot damn, dude, that's fast. I mean, it's not that fast with me on it, but I always laugh because it's like Riva, when they advertise their speeds, they're like, your results will vary depending on your altitude, depending on how you choose to test it, depending on how much you weigh, blah, 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 all these factors. All right. It was like 85 degrees out. It was like 84, 85 degrees. A little breezy. But sure enough, we're like, okay, that's great. My kid's sitting in the car watching, videos on the phone. Oh, no, he says, hey, everyone's going to dinner at this place. I said, okay. It's called Susie's. I said, okay. He goes, it's a little tiny seafood place. I'm like, that's fine. I'm not picky. I'll eat anything. We get to this place, and I'm telling you, I have been to tobacco barns that have looked nicer than this place. I mean, it is a seafood shack. It is a shack. It is a ramshackled white plank board shack. And then they're saying, hey, by the way, this is their last night. They're going out of business. They're closing tomorrow. Oh, great. We go in there, and I mean, church potlucks have nicer furniture. These little tables and these folding chairs. And I'm sitting here, and they've got brown butcher paper over all that. Well, I understand the brown butcher paper because when you go to a crab, you go to a crab cooker, you go to a seafood broil, they're gonna just dump the whole tray out onto the paper towel. Okay, that's tradition. I understand that. I'm not fancy, but I just kind of laugh. But I'm sitting there, I sit across from Jerry and Greg and his girlfriend, And Billy's down there with Gina, his wife, and everyone's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And we're talking. And this cat next to me, he's from Mississippi, and he's just killing me because Jerry and I are talking, and this guy wants so bad to be part of that conversation. He's cutting Jerry off. He's cutting me off. If he was throwing elbows, he couldn't be more in that conversation. And he's just like, I got to be a part of this. And we're like, oh, okay, cool, And so I'm talking to Jerry about what's funny is that he and I don't talk. We almost never talk jet skis. We talk cars. So he's like, hey, what's going on with this? And what are you building now? And what motor you got going on? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing with the vet? And, we're talking cars. And this guy's like, you got cars? I'm like, yeah, I got a couple cars. He's like, oh, I got this Chevelle and I got this car. And so he's showing me his phone and we're laughing because all these people are like the two jet ski, well, Greg too. So the three jet ski guys and this cat, I forgot his name. I feel terrible. Really funny dude. But he's sitting there and he's like, we're all talking cars and all these jet skiers are like, what are you talking about? And we're like, oh, well, he's got a big block. He's got a 396 Chevelle and I got a big block Mopar, Charger, and he's got this Corvette. It's so stupid. And I'm telling you, the wait staff at this place, they were done. They're like, we're out of this, we're out of that, we're out of this, we're out of that. They're like, we don't have. And don't get me wrong, there are people who are like, I'll just get a cheeseburger. And they're like, well, we're out of lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, so it's going to be meat, cheese, and ketchup. They're like, oh, okay. All right. If you say so. It was so funny. It was so funny. Just that this place is so picked over. I'm like, oh, I'll just have catfish and the white beans and rice. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I want something authentic. So I had catfish and the white beans, and that was good. Everything's out, and all the drinks are in cans. They was like, we don't have cups. Just have it out of a can. Okay. And this place, my wife is she won't go to like buffets. She doesn't like buffets at all. And this place, I think she would sooner go into like a condemned insane asylum to spend the night than eat at this little place. I was dying. I'm like, all right, this is an experience. Everyone's laughing. Almost all the orders are wrong. It was really funny. And sure enough, it closed the next day. So anyway, but so that was really fun just to meet up with everyone. I love those opportunities to sit down and just BS and be rowdy and loud with everyone. So
hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This clip was taken from our weekly podcast that we record here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go to the Watercraft Journal's YouTube channel, go to playlists, and then click on live sessions. You're going to see it there. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. And again, thanks again for watching our videos, and we hope to see you soon.